Meet Alice, a curious Catholic schoolgirl. In the fall of 2000, we meet Alice, a sweet and curious high school student who attends a strict Catholic school in the Midwest. Alice is naturally interested in learning about the world around her, which is completely normal for someone her age. However, her school environment makes exploring these natural curiosities very difficult and confusing. At Alice's school, Mrs. V is a very demanding teacher who makes sure all students look and act perfectly according to strict religious standards. Father Murphy, the school priest, teaches the students that any intimate behavior not meant for having babies within marriage is considered a serious sin. He also tells them that doing anything purely for personal enjoyment or pleasure is also sinful. These harsh teachings make Alice feel ashamed and embarrassed about the natural growing feelings she's experiencing as a teenager. After school one day, Alice goes home, eats a snack, plays with her pet dog, and sits down at the family computer. She opens an internet chat website and receives an unexpected email from a stranger containing adult pictures. At first, Alice is shocked and immediately closes the screen, but her natural curiosity eventually wins, and she decides to look at the images more carefully. The person who sent the email starts chatting with Alice, asking basic questions about her age, gender, and where she lives. Feeling nervous but excited, Alice lies and tells him she's 22 years old and lives in Iowa. When he asks for her photograph, Alice becomes scared, but decides to send him a picture of one of her female friends instead of herself. The stranger compliments the photo, saying the girl is beautiful, and they begin flirting through their online conversation. The online stranger sends Alice another adult picture and asks her a very personal question about touching herself. Driven by curiosity about these new feelings, Alice tries what he suggests and experiences something completely new and exciting. Just at that moment, her mother arrives home and calls Alice to come eat dinner. Alice quickly shuts off the computer and runs to the kitchen, feeling relieved that she wasn't caught doing something she's been taught is wrong. The following Monday during lunch at school, Alice and her friend Laura are eating together when a classmate named Beth approaches their table. Beth says she can't believe Alice did something inappropriate at Laura's recent party and mentions that everyone at school is talking about it. Alice firmly denies doing anything wrong and honestly admits she doesn't even understand what Beth is referring to. Beth then tells them about her own spiritual journey from the previous weekend and joins them for lunch. During lunch, Alice takes out a chocolate candy wrapper and begins licking it to get the remaining chocolate. The boys sitting at the nearby table start laughing because they think Alice is doing something inappropriate with the wrapper. Two students named Heather and Wade approach Alice and call her disgusting for her behavior. Mrs. V overhears all this gossip and tells Alice that she will no longer be allowed to help serve during church mass services as punishment. Later, Alice goes to confession with Father Murphy and admits to small minor sins. He gives her a light punishment of saying 20 prayers, which she quickly completes in the school chapel. However, the harsh words from both Father Murphy and Mrs. V about avoiding pleasure keep echoing in Alice's mind, making her feel guilty about her natural curiosity and growing feelings. Alice and Laura decide to attend their school's religious retreat weekend. Alice hopes this experience will help her get back on the right spiritual path, while Laura is more interested in becoming popular with the other students. When they arrive at the retreat camp, Laura is excited to see that Nina is one of the retreat leaders. Meanwhile, Alice notices Chris, a handsome high school student and soccer player who is also attending the retreat. Alice is assigned to Nina's group and follows her to see their sleeping rooms. While showing Alice around, Nina asks her to hand over her cell phone and watch if she has either item. Alice gives Nina her watch, but cleverly hides her phone, keeping it secret so she can use it later during the retreat. Alice participates in a large group meeting in the main hall, where Father Murphy tells all the students that God has called them to this special retreat vacation. He adds that this experience could completely change their lives in positive ways. Chris is friendly and enthusiastically starts talking to Alice when they're both assigned to the same group for activities. Father Murphy passes out questionnaires asking students to identify emotions they've experienced during the past year. Alice circles many different feelings on her paper, including the word contentment, which probably wasn't the best choice given the retreat's focus on avoiding pleasure. When time runs out, Alice tries to erase the circle around satisfaction, but can't remove it completely, so she crosses it out with her pencil before turning in the questionnaire. Later, Nina gives a very emotional speech to the group about how she felt ignored and unloved by her family members. Everyone gathers around Nina to give her warm, supportive hugs, creating a sense of community and shared understanding among the retreat participants. That night, while secretly playing G with her hidden phone in her room, Alice accidentally discovers that she can use one particular feature of the phone to experience pleasure. However, she quickly stops her activities when she notices a religious painting hanging on her bedroom wall, which makes her feel guilty about what she's doing. On the second day of the retreat, all students go on a nature hike through the forest. Alice watches Chris helping another girl who has tripped and fallen over a rock. Wanting to get Chris's attention and have him touch her, Alice decides to fake her own injury. She feels wonderful when Chris picks her up in his strong arms and carries her to the camp nurse for treatment. Later, when Alice is resting in her room, Nina comes to check on her condition. During their conversation, Alice's hidden phone vibrates and makes noise, which leads Nina to discover it and confiscate it immediately. Nina reports Alice's rule-breaking to Father Murphy, who assigns Alice the punishment of cleaning the rest home as discipline for hiding her phone. While Alice is cleaning the buildings as punishment, she notices a computer in Father Murphy's private office. As soon as she's alone, Alice uses the computer to chat online and try to learn the meaning of a certain adult expression she's heard. However, before she can learn anything useful, she hears footsteps approaching and quickly turns off the computer and leaves the office. Alice confronts Nina about reporting her phone to Father Murphy. Nina jokingly refers to Alice's supposed meeting with Wade and adds that she's not actually angry with Alice for hiding her phone. Nina says she believes Alice is on the right path toward positive spiritual change. That night, Father Murphy reads aloud letters that were sent by the students' family members to everyone at the retreat. After hearing these personal messages from home, all the students become very emotional and sentimental about their families and relationships. On the third day of the retreat, Chris encourages everyone in his group to confess their sins if they have any. He explains that confessions help everyone clear their minds and focus on spiritual growth. All the other students share their sad personal stories, but Alice doesn't have anything serious worth confessing, so she makes up a fake story about her pet dog dying to fit in with the group. Later, when everyone is eating in the dining hall, Father Murphy announces that someone has been using an adult chat room on his office computer. He asks the unknown person responsible to step forward and take responsibility for their actions. He warns that God is watching and will punish whoever is guilty. Alice feels scared listening to this announcement, but still doesn't confess to using his computer. Alice is called to have a private meeting in Father Murphy's office, where he asks her about her relationship with God. She replies that everything is fine between them. Father Murphy then asks about why she marked satisfaction on her questionnaire, and whether she still feels that way. Alice replies that she used to feel satisfied but doesn't anymore. Father Murphy insists that Alice should confess her sins, but she maintains that everything is fine, even though he clearly doesn't believe her. While Alice is cleaning the dining room as punishment, Wade comes in and deliberately throws trash around the room. Alice scolds him for his messy, disrespectful behavior, and for not denying the false rumors that have been spreading about her around school. Father Murphy appears and takes Wade away for discipline, but Wade leaves without admitting his guilt or apologizing to Alice. While cleaning up the mess Wade made, Alice sees Nina kissing and being intimate with another high school student in the nearby woods. Alice is shocked by witnessing this forbidden behavior, but she also begins having romantic fantasies about what she saw. She almost gets into trouble when she could have been caught watching them. Alice shares what she witnessed with her friend Laura. But Laura refuses to believe her story because Nina is Laura's idol and role model. Laura accuses Alice of sneaking into Father Murphy's office and using his computer. Their argument becomes so heated that Laura ends their friendship by calling Alice terrible names and walking away angrily. Later, Alice returns to Father Murphy's office and plants Wade's bracelet under the keyboard to frame him for using the adult chat room on the computer. When she hears Father Murphy approaching the office, Alice hides in a back room to avoid being caught. From her hiding place, Alice sees Father Murphy doing exactly what he preaches against, watching an adult video that was saved on his computer. Disgusted by this hypocrisy, Alice closes her eyes and turns away from the shocking sight of her religious teacher breaking his own rules. Outside the building, Alice meets Chris, who asks if she's feeling okay and insists on talking to her to make her feel better. When they're alone together, Alice impulsively kisses Chris, but he becomes confused and uncomfortable and runs away from her, leaving Alice feeling rejected and embarrassed. That night, Alice sneaks out of the camp while everyone else is singing religious songs together. She comes across a local bar where she meets the owner, a woman named Gina. They have a long conversation about how fear of religious punishment can negatively affect teenage development and growth. Alice asks Gina why people hide behind false identities, trying to impress others instead of showing their true selves. Alice admits that she's afraid to explore her natural desires or make small mistakes because she's been taught she'll go to hell for them. Gina gives Alice helpful advice, explaining that she also attended a strict Catholic school and understands exactly what Alice is experiencing. Gina and Alice talk for a long time, which greatly improves Alice's mood and self-confidence. Later, Gina drives Alice back to the retreat camp and advises her to consider changing to a different, less restrictive college when she graduates from high school. On the last day of camp, while Father Murphy is disciplining Wade, Laura reconciles with Alice after Wade is arrested for inappropriate behavior when his bracelet is found near the computer. Laura also tells Alice that Wade actually likes boys and made up false rumors about Alice to hide his true romantic orientation from others. During the final group session, Wade asks God to forgive him for his actions. Alice then gives an inspiring speech, saying that everyone has something hidden about themselves and encouraging everyone to treat each other with honesty and respect, just as Jesus taught. She tells them to accept themselves for who they are and to enjoy their lives without excessive guilt. Back at school, Alice talks to Chris, who still feels awkward about their kiss. She tells him they can stay just friends, which makes him feel more comfortable about their relationship. During a meeting with Father Murphy, Alice admits it's that she has been watching adult videos while on the retreat, and that she also saw him watching them too. They both realize this situation will have consequences, but they don't discuss what those might be. Father Murphy gives Alice a punishment of saying 100 prayers. When Alice returns home, she watches a videotape of the movie Titanic and rewinds it to her favorite romantic scene between Jack and Rose. She allows herself to enjoy watching this scene and feels happy about experiencing these normal, natural feelings without guilt.